Hey guys, so showed you the other day how to add an assessment if it was in your resources folder from, one of our courses in the curriculum this summer. They made them. But let's say you want to make your own assessment from scratch. So the first thing you need to do is go into your course and click, wherever you want that assessment to go. So let's say I'm going to build it in this folder. I'm going to click Add Materials, Add Assessment. Once I do that, I give it a name. So let's say I do Unit 1, and then I give it a due date. So let's say we're going to give it on this date. And then the key here is that you enable the submissions. Again, you can enable them now or have them on a range. I just enable them now and then I just unpublish this. You don't need to give passwords unless you want a kid to have it for some reason. Category, hi, and then I've got my date. So then I'm going to click create. Once you click create, now it's going to let you build the test. So right here, you're going to type your instructions for the students. In the setup, this is where you can create a time limit, where you can randomly order questions so kids don't look at each other's screens. You can flag them. You can have them eliminate answer choices. If it's a math thing and you want them to use resources, a protractor, ruler, calculator, you can have them allow them to highlight if it's a reading test. And over here, I always let them review it. But if there's something you want to look at and grade, or like if there's a short answer response, you don't want them to see it right now, you can do this. Then you're going to click save. And then up at the top right here is where you're going to click questions. So now you're going to decide what type of questions you want. So if you had been keeping an item bank like amongst your colleagues and you wanted to pull one from there, you could. There, I don't think we have any created at this time. But the thing I like about Schoology assessments is it doesn't all have to be multiple choice. So there are some things like where you can upload an image and then the kids could label it. So say you want them to do like the cell and you want to label it, you can do this. You're going to put it, it's going to give you some directions, and it's going to have the kids do some work on labeling. You kind of have to play with that one. They have fill in the blanks. Now, this is good until the kids can't spell, and then they would mark it wrong. So I like to use the fill in the blank drop down, and then you type it, and then the kids will get a drop down. So say you say, and then when you want them to insert it, you just hit the a shift underline, and then you would give the choice right there, and then you'd be like, and you'd keep typing. And then there would be a drop down. You give option one, and what's the drop down? And so, like I said, there's a bunch of different choices. So if you don't want that one anymore, just exit out and then just keep playing with them. There's videos where they can watch a video and then answer a question. You could have them do math short answers. There's charts, there's number lines, there's all kinds of stuff, matching. And then when you build these, you just give the question and then this needs to match with its corresponding. So this is good for definitions, or we did this with the 13 colony regions and what their characteristics were. So these are just some ways that you can build this test. Once you have your test built, then you will save it. It'll save right here, or you can save it to your resources like I have up here where I've got all my 8th grade mini assessments that they made in curriculum. Um, I made all the 6th grade ones this summer in curriculum, so I can just show you what some examples look like. So this is the one we're going to give in the next week, and I edited mine. So when you look, like there's just a regular multiple choice question here. So you type it and then you type in your answers. If you're copying this from a Google form from last year, you could just copy paste the question, copy paste the answers, and then add the questions. Make sure you mark the right one. Make sure you click exact match. If it's like choose two, you'll click multiple responses, and then you just save the question when you're done. You'll give it a point. And let me see if I can show you. Here's like a drop down one where they have to choose. So blank leads a theocracy. Who's the type of person? So they just pick the correct one. Some other examples are here's a matching one that you can see. Here's the match each civilization that created a river. So which civilization matches with its correct river? So they would just do Mesopotamian. They would have these at the bottom and they would drag them into the match. and then make sure when you set it up, you have the right answers, and then save it when you're done. Also, again, before you give an assignment, before you give this test, make sure that the points all equal 100, obviously. Here's one where it's choose two. In our social studies curriculum, they asked us if we are going to do choose twos to give them 5 choices, so it's not as obvious. But again, that's if it's your test, you do what you want to do. So click save. If you are giving a choose two for this, just remember this I forgot this the first time I did this. Be sure that right here you have to check multiple responses so it'll let you pick 2 right answers. And then once you have your whole test saved, then you are ready to give it to the kids. And so if you made it in your folder, it's here ready to go for the students. If you made it in resources and you saved it in a resource folder, then you would just copy it to the kids. So for example, I'm giving this one on Friday. So I just click the gear, add to course. And when I add it to course, it's going to let me pick which courses I want to. It's going to go to my 6th graders. My 6th graders are linked, so I'm going to put it here, and it's going to go to both of them, and I click add. Now, I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again, but anyway, that's how you make an assessment. It's pretty easy, and if you and your colleagues take turns making them, it's not as time consuming. Once it's made, then you can sync it straight to PowerSchool after they take it and grade it. I hope this helps.